Hello and welcome to Quick Looks with the Casual Hour. My name is Bobby. Joining me is Chase Kennedy, and we're going to be checking out Terra Nil today. Chase, how are you doing?
Doing great. Let's fix a planet.
Look, we got a lot of work to do. Let me tell you, we're going to be here for a while. There's a lot to do. You said it. We're going to be fixing the planet. What else can you tell me about this new game?
Yeah, Terra Nil came out at the end of March here in 2023. It is developed by Free Lives.
Okay.
You may have played one of their games before. They made Gorn. Do you remember that VR game where you're that kind of arena thing?
Yep.
They worked on Broforce. They have an Apple Arcade game called Cricket Through the Ages, which sounds very funny to me.
Yeah.
And then they also made Genital Jousting.
Yes, I'm very aware of that.
This is pretty much the same, I'm sure, as that. Terra Nil, it is out on Android, iOS, PC, Linux. But if you are on a mobile device, it's a Netflix game.
Yeah, it is, and it's tied in with that. I've played a little bit on my iPad. We're playing this on PC today, and it works really great there. I haven't played on my phone. I think it could be fine there also. But an iPad seems like a really chill, cool way to experience what this is.
Sure. And published by Devolver Digital. We should mention as well.
The big D. Big double D, really. So, Chase, you mentioned it. This is you said, what did you say? Fix the planet? Is that how you said it earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We're going to start with the River Valley. I've unlocked 2 regions. River Valley, you and I first checked out Terra Nil on a Steam Next Fest demo a while back. I believe that the version of this game had been out on itch that was more of like a pixel based, like very, very low res looking game.
Yeah, and that's still there. It's a free version of this. Now it's a early version of this, but it's a free version of this if you want to go check that check that out on itch. But yeah, we're playing the full release now.
Yes. So this is a I guess it's a city rebuilder, or how do we call this? Like a reverse city builder?
Yeah, that's what they've kind of been dubbing this, as a reverse city builder, which is that's a fun box quote, even though nobody's putting stuff on boxes anymore. But yeah, it's not exactly that, right?
Yeah, we want to restore a quality of life to this planet, and we need to bring biomes in. We need to restore an ecosystem. And you've got some tools to do that. So if we're looking at the UI down here at the bottom, they've got some nice tool tips that will let you know what it provides and what it requires. So you've got things like a turbine, you've got a toxin scrubber, you've got an irrigator, water pump, calcifier, and an excavator to start off with.
So you're still building stuff, but your goal is not industrialization, as most of these kinds of games are. It is getting it back to a natural working ecosystem, and then dismantling the buildings that you put in.
Correct. So there's 3 phases to each region you go into, and we're in phase 1, as you can see down here. To get to phase 2, we need to get a target greenery coverage, which is going to be 100%.
I mean, this place looks great. I count 4 trees. Like, look at it. It's fine. It's fine.
Beautiful trees. And we also have a currency that we're going to be using. So we'll be using and giving back to it. And you can see the cost of each one of these items. So if we go to the turbine, it requires stone. We're going to grab one of these. And now you can see it'll highlight all the areas that we can place one of these. So I'm going to start there. And I like to put a few turbines down before I get going. And you can't put one right next to it. It'll say you're too close. So you have to be somewhat smart about your placement of these. And I'll go here, and I'll put one there for now. So you've got our turbines placed, which means that we've got a power grid that goes out in that area. The next thing that we want is a toxin scrubber. And this is going to give us more of a fertile landscape to start to grow back on. So now you can see anything in blue is where I can place this. And I can have 6 of these. Essentially, you can put 6 items per turbine. So if I move this over here, I can go all the way up to the edge, and I'll be able to cover that much ground. And it's going to give us that indication that we've done that there. I'll grab another one of these. And the orange just means you're not going to see anything grow there. So to the northeast of us, where it's orange, that's a water basin, so that's why you don't see it there. And then to the southwest, I already have that ground coverage.
So is that the game trying to tell you, hey, it's a little inefficient to put it here because you're not going to get as much out of this? Yeah,
absolutely. And you'll see that even further explained. So let me just put this one over here for the time being. That'll give us nice coverage. I'll put another one up here. I feel pretty good about that.
There's almost like a puzzle game aspect to this.
Big time.
Hey,
Big
you
time.
can only place the turbines in specific places. So now how do you put these toxin scrubbers here?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you feel like you... I mean, with a city builder, there's also a certain puzzle mechanicalness to it, but in the same way, there's also enough opportunity for freedom of expression. Do you feel like you get to express yourself here a little bit of building it out the way you want to, or is it more I need to solve the problem of how to solve this specific mechanical problem to fix this area?
Well, they don't really explain that to you when you first start it, but your main objective here, like when I play like a Sim City or a city builder, it's about efficiency. I want grids. I want something that's customizable and expandable and scalable. Here, I want to cover as much of the ground as possible because eventually you're going to have to clean up after yourself. And we'll talk about that here in a moment. So this is more about the reason I do it this way is a cost effectiveness. The next stage of this is to add in an irrigator. And this is where we're going to start to grow it. So if I have enough of this, I can start to get a bang for my buck. And this is what I was talking about from like the efficiency aspect of it. You get a real-time indicator, which I love, about, hey, you're going to get this much back. So if you look in the upper left-hand corner, when I move this over, you're going to see my currency go up, projected up, and the output go there. So if you press R, you rotate, but on the irrigators, they've got different layouts. So I can choose, like, I want this. I see.
Sure.
So if I put this here, that'll give us some pretty good coverage. So
I'll place 150 you had at one point.
The other thing that they don't tell you about is that placement of these items, the irrigator especially, will become critical for the location that you would have them in other places. So let me see here what would be maybe the best way to go about it just for the time being. We'll put one of those there. So now I'm starting to bring back, and you can see I'm getting up to 16% over there. I'll add another one. I'm still replenishing my currency. It's not really a good way to do this one. We'll go with the... I think that's the one we'll go with for now.
Yep.
I'm also going to come in here now, and I'm going to add in a water pump. So I can see that I can put these in this area, and you can see its projected ability to fill. So we'll add that, and that's going to start to bring more around us as we do that as well. So we're at 29%, and I will keep coming down here. The calcifier is interesting. So if you look over in this area, there's not a whole lot of stone, but if I have water, I can place this. That comes down, and it adds stone now. So I can place power.
I see. Okay.
That's why you'd want to do something like that. I'll expand this guy out. That will grow that a bit further. I'll put another one of those over here. And I'll add... Yeah, do I want to do that? Not yet. Whoops. Let me move this up. I want to just try and get at least the next phase to show you all what that looks like. I'll add another water pump in. That'll keep getting that up there for us. It's incredibly zen, very chilled out. It's a great podcast game, which is what I've primarily been using it for. I've found that to be just a real treat. Just working on making things better for folks, making the Earth planet. I don't know if this is Earth or not. They haven't really said, but making this better by adding things into it. We'll add one more over here. And I think that's going to be too close there. Yeah. So Let me place a few more power supplies. All right, we're getting low, so I need to add in, get some money back here.
Is there a fail state? Do you get to a point where like, oh, I spent all my money, I can't build any more stuff, and do you just have to reset then?
You have to reset. You do get one rollback. So like I can undo that. I can't go back more than one time, but you do get a rollback, which is nice. Need to add in something here to get us a little bit more green state.
Probably want to do that north one. North like you got nothing but green area there.
Yeah, if I do
open area there.
I'll do one more on this side because I can probably, well, I'll do two. I can probably do two here. Because if I do one more like this, I'll get a really nice return on this guy.
Yep. You might be able to get two of them there.
Yeah.
If you just kind of do half and half.
There's a 170 I thought I saw there for a second. We'll just do it that way. And that's going to take us up to, we're getting close to 60, I bet, with the end of this here. I'll do one more.
Does this work a little bit like maybe Power Wash Simulator, where, hey, you know, if you get 95% of it, we'll just give you the other 5%, or do you actually have to go in and
I've seen it be pretty
fix every space?
The only time I see it get a little bit more like, hey, you can move on now, is whenever there's been the recycling pickup. It'll be like, okay, you've gotten most of these. We're just going to highlight on your map like where the rest of this needs to go. So go and do that. I've seen that happen a few times. Let me place this one here. And I got some nice coverage in here. We'll do one more there. All right. So I really just want to show you like the next phase. I'm going to try and hustle through this really quick. I didn't want to spend too much time because this can be, again, it's a very personal thing, you know, like place and stuff and kind of figuring out how you want to go about it. Like they obviously give you an objective, but it's not a game that I think you need to rush is what I want to say. Like, and so doing a quick look where it's like, I feel the pressure of like showing you all new things, but at the same time, like this is a game all about taking your time, slowing down, reflecting, looking at what you're trying to do, and having a fucking good time with that. I really have enjoyed piecing this place back together. Getting up to 70. And I can probably add in a calcifier here. And I think I can put another one down here. So let's add in some power really quick. I have to be smart about how I do this one. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah. Chase, do you have an iPad? Do you think that's where you would play a game like this?
I don't have a Netflix subscription, so
no. Yeah. So no.
But if I did have a Netflix subscription, yeah, I think I could see sitting on a couch and playing this while having a podcast going or watching a baseball game. Yeah.
I think that's where Johnny, our other co-host, has been playing this primarily, is on his iPad. I don't know how much he's played it, but I do know that that's been, he said that he's really enjoyed it in that location quite a bit. All right, I can get one more of these in, I think, and then get a nice return there. Bring that back up. We're getting really close here to phase 2.
Mm-hmm.
wonder if I can bring some more water in. It's not going to net us a whole lot there. What about down this way? Yeah, we can do that. Close, 95. So this is that point you brought up. Like, will 95 get you where you need to be? And
yeah,
in this case, no. But we'll finish that water there. And see if I can bring in a little bit more power.
Can you get a calcifier in that where the mouth of the river is on the top left, and then get some power up there?
We're at top left, you said? Over here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't have any rocks over there. Hey, look, some birds.
There they are. They're coming in, man. They know what's going on. The birds are returning.
Nature is healing.
As it does. As it do. That's going to put us down to 89, which I'll have to do a quick... This is like... I say this funny because this is the tightest I've ever ran restoration. All right, cool. So now we've unlocked phase 2, which is to bring in the backbone of our ecosystem. And there's a really cool guide if you ever wanted to reference that from your handbook. You can see I've unlocked everything in this area that you can. I've unlocked the next step, which is a tropical biome, and I have not spent a lot of time there. I've been coming back here to find more animals and the climates, etc. So now we've got this whole area, this whole new set of tools, which will allow us to bring in biomes. So I mentioned earlier that having these placed in us, like you see how these are now blue?
Mm-hmm.
That's because we can turn these into a marshland. So I've switched that over, and it makes this more of a really cool, kind of marshy area. The next one that we have is a beehive. So I could even come in here and do a hybrid, but I don't want to do it on that one because it's only 24. But if I come to that one, well, now we're going to get this really lush, cool beehive action happening.
Yeah, so a lot more ways to get that green energy back. Also, I noticed a lot of these pieces of equipment are way cheaper than what you had before.
So you've got your wetlands and you've got your Finbus, which you're trying to get up to 100 each. And that goes really quick in my opinion. Like I can get there relatively fast for what this is. That one's only 9. What's this one get us? 87. So we'll do another marsh area there. But what I want to show you is, let me place another beehive in, because that's what we're going to need for this next move, which I need to make this land fertile. So I'll come back over here and we'll place, just for the sake of this, that there, and we'll do one of these here. So this will become a beehive area for us. So I'll do 2 of those. There's that. So now,
all the way on the left too, if you want to use that.
I'll hold off there for now, because what I want to show you is this guy, the solar amplifier. It has to be placed near a power source. So I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to shoot that spot there. And we're going to do a controlled burn.
Bobby, you're supposed to be. Bobby, you're supposed to be making things green. What did you do?
Yes, we did something. We did something very strange, didn't we? So you see these lumps here? I'm going to grab this arbitum, and I'm going to place that in one of these spots.
Arboretum.
Arboretum. Thank you. I was waiting for it. And that's going to give us this really lush forest. So I'm going to grab another one of those, and we'll come over to this side. And that, now we're at 100% on that one. I've got another spot for our wetland there, which, is that going to do the trick? No, it's not going to do the trick. So we'll just keep grabbing those. And I need to put another beehive out, as you called earlier, because we got rid of those. Now I can still come into this area where there's trees, and I've got a lot more that I can start to cover with it. Now, I was saying negative because I don't have the ground coverage for it, but this will give me hopefully a little bit more of a leg up to use for that there. So it starts to give me the coverage I'm looking for. Same thing back here.
Well, it seems like the beehives are only helping the regular grassland, and you don't have any of the okay.
So I got to figure out, like, then you go back to, okay, cool, I need to bring this in here and start establishing that again. So then I can come in and grab this beehive whenever I had the grass to it. So if I brought that in, we've got that area. Then I can come back in and add. And this is where you get to like start to tweak and do stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can keep burning shit if you need to. So that is the second phase. The third phase is going to bring in more climate control elements, which I've got one of those here. That's a research center. That's how I'm going to find wildlife. So if I place that there, now I can click on this guy. Where's it at? Oh, I have not at that phase yet. Sorry. Cloud seeder. That's what I'm talking about. This is going to work on our atmosphere. So you can see it's bringing in. They give you some goals that you can work through. So you want to add ferns and riverbanks, etc. And that's going to be from adding in different climate control elements, which will increase by 15% there. So that's going to continue to bring in more of an atmosphere. All cool things, Chase. All the things that happen.
Yeah. Before we leave, you said there was a hybrid thing that would happen if you put that beehive in that marshland. Can we see that?
Well, it's not necessarily a hybrid in the sense that it changes that. It's that like I can have both of those. So if I brought that here, you'll see it just brings
it just fills out the other spaces. I see.
Yeah, yeah. But that will be helpful from a wildlife perspective. So certain animals, like bears, for example, they like to be in a higher altitude. So if I had an area that was raised, which like this here, you can see that this is raised up.
Yeah.
If I had a tree there, which I don't, but if I had a tree with a beehive in a forest, so that's where you'd have to have, okay, I need to have a forest. I need to have a beehive like this here. Like if that was on a higher, which that might technically do it. That's where a bear would live. So like you can start to like create hybrids to bring in the wildlife that you would need. But
you need to fill out all of these specific conditions for that animal to show up. That's cool.
Correct. Let me put this here just because I think I can actually convert that one over to marsh as well. And then the last thing we need is just more of that ground coverage for the beehives. And that would be the next phase of what this is. So let me just let me entertain me while I do one more of these, if that's okay with you. Let me entertain you, I should say, while I do one more of these.
I love to be entertained.
Are you not entertained?
You know what? I would say I am mildly entertained right now. This game seems pretty cool.
Yeah, I enjoy this one quite a bit. Let me place beehive in. Cool. So now we've gotten to the third and final phase of what this would be, and that is to bring in wildlife and start to recycle. So I have all these tools for recycling now, but if we come back over here to this guy, we can start to do the scanner, which is very handy. So I've got my animal observatory. I'll place that here. And now I can come in and scan. So it'll tell you, hey, this grazer lives in herds of wide open grassland. That looks like wide open grassland. And guess what? There's deer there. Look at that.
Look at that little guy.
Bears. This large caniform's domain is a forest which contains a beehive on a hill. I don't know if this one will work, but we're gonna see if I was right. So this letting us know that it is not there. We've got two of the right things, but no bear. We'll try one more pass through, see what we get. No bear. Okay. So you can start to see how this all plays out. Like this one, it needs a lake, which we do not have a lake. We just have rivers currently. So that becomes kind of a game in itself. Like once you get to this phase, it's like, all right, cool. What can I start to do to get this taken care of? Beaver. builds its home in a river near a forest. So I've got a forest over there, and I got a river. I bet you I could scan and find a beaver.
Seems like beaver country.
Beaver country. Wolf's a little bit different. It needs to be in a forest by where deer are at. I don't have that right now. But you start to get those things in there. And then lastly, you would put in a spot to recycle. So you have this airship that comes. It needs to be on a water bank because you're going to place a boat. And then you have a recycling silo. And I'll just show you briefly what that looks like. So we've got those deer enjoying life. I want to get rid of that shit that's in their way. That's going to recycle. And then I'm going to use this loading dock that will let me pick up all those things. So our boat comes out, it grabs that, they go away, our numbers go up, and we've now removed our footprint. And that's how you wrap it up. So essentially you need to get the win conditions here are to find 3 animal species and 100% remove all the shit that you did. And that's how you would win this and go to the next spot.
Nice. Do you know how many spots, how many levels this thing has?
Let's go out to the world map and see if we can figure that out from here. So we're going to lose our progress, which is okay because I've done that here. As we zoom out, it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 immediately. But as you all know, the Earth is not flat, or this planet is not flat. And there's probably stuff on the other side that will start to spin and let us get to it. Okay. You can see our overall restoration progress of this planet. I'm at 70% here. So I've been going back in. I really wanted to 100% this continent before going to the next. And that stuff that I was looking at the upper right-hand corner, like, oh, bring this much into this area. I've been trying to get those win conditions. So it becomes more about how can I strategically start to build out while I'm excavating. Like, okay, I need to excavate this land and make a lake or something like that to where when I build it, I have those things in place that would help me with it.
When you go back, is it the same map and you just have to do it again, or is it somewhat procedurally generated in a way of, okay, that same river isn't there? Okay, it is generating. So I'm guessing this is a slightly different map every time.
It is going to be slightly different. This one is going to have a lot of the same beats though. Like you can see that this river is a little bit further down.
That river's different. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Let me go back. I'm not going to do anything at this location, but I just want to show you how they change it up. So like tropical is the next one that we have here. And that's beach, mangroves, tropical forest, and a coral reef. And there's a bunch of different animals there. So we're going to go to the desolate island versus the river focused one. And this one's really interesting because you are going to be building up sandbanks that you'll use for like power placement. It is a step up in difficulty, I think, from just what resources you would have available to you. So you have to also, there's water here that's polluted. So you have to work on like getting water in a better state. But you start with the same tools, but they do add in a sandbank, as I mentioned. So like you can start to build out areas that like will give you a platform that you can place stuff on now. So then I could put other things on that item. So they start to incorporate some new tools that you can use. And this one, if you look at the location, your landmass is a bit more sporadic. So you have to be a bit creative on how you approach building out power and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, but it's also very cold there, apparently.
Yes, very cold. I really dig this game, man. I've had such a good time just unwinding with it. It's been my kind of evening ritual. And I think quite a bit of this one is very, very cool. So Terra Nil, published by Devolver. Free Lives is the one who made it. $25. If you are a Netflix subscriber, you can get this on your iPhone, Android phone, or your iPad. It's on PC right now. It does support controller as well if you want to just kick back and relax with it. I think the mouse and keyboard's the way to go personally for this game. And Chase, if you are so inclined, maybe I'll let you test it out on an iPad when we get together and hang out sometime, so you can kind of see how it works on that interface as well. Sure. Maybe
also on Steam, there appears to be a deluxe edition that is $35 that comes with a soundtrack and a digital art book.
Yeah, I got lucky. If you pre-ordered this game, they automatically upgraded you to that version. And the art book is really neat. It's got a very cool art book. And I like the soundtrack from like an ambient, put it on while you're working type thing. But that's a good call out for sure. We play games like Terra Nil Mondays and Fridays on twitch.tv/casualr if you ever wanted to hang out with us while we were live. We also record a podcast with our other co-host, Johnny, every Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Central, right there on that same Twitch channel. And if you've enjoyed this quick look, I would just say like and subscribe where you can. We are going to be putting out new quick looks every Tuesday and Thursday morning on YouTube. And if you don't have time to watch and you just want to listen, Friday mornings at 10, our new episodes go up for our podcast. And you can find that literally everywhere that podcasts are located. We're everywhere, man. All over the planet, all over the globe, all over the universe. The Casual Hour.
Can't get rid of us.
Can't get rid of us. Even if you wanted to restore, you can't. Chase, thanks for making the world a better place with me today. I really appreciated it. And I hope that you have a chance to check out Terra Nil. It's really cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Bobby.
Yep.